Cold start mistakes are silently destroying engines at an alarming rate, yet most drivers don't even realize they're doing something wrong. I know what you're thinking. How bad can a simple cold start really be? But let me tell you, these seemingly harmless mistakes can shave off 15,000 to 25,000 miles from your engine's lifespan, and that's no exaggeration. I've seen it firsthand. Engines that should have been running strong for years breaking down prematurely, all because of a few simple blunders made during those crucial first moments after startup. But don't worry, because today we're going to break down the 5 biggest cold start mistakes that are killing your engine, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. One of the most common and damaging mistakes people make is revving their engine immediately after starting it up. You might think it's harmless, maybe even helpful to wake up the engine, but in reality, you're doing some serious damage. When your engine is cold, all of its metal components, your pistons, cylinder walls, crankshaft, and bearings are actually slightly smaller than they should be. Metal expands as it heats up, and engines are designed to operate at their optimal temperature, where all components have expanded to their intended size. By revving the engine too soon, you're forcing these cold, contracted parts to slam against each other, increasing friction and wear. This is where piston slap becomes a real issue. You might even hear a rattling noise when the engine is cold. That's your pistons knocking against the cylinder walls because they haven't expanded yet. Do this often enough, and you're looking at worn piston rings, scuffed cylinder walls, and a reduction in compression, which will ultimately lead to poor performance and expensive repairs. Another major mistake is letting your car idle for too long before driving. I get it. We've all been told that warming up your car by idling for 10 to 15 minutes is the right thing to do. But that's outdated advice from the days of carbureted engines. Modern fuel-injected engines don't need excessive idling to warm up, and doing so can actually cause more harm than good. When your engine idles while cold, it runs on a richer fuel mixture, meaning more fuel than necessary is injected into the combustion chamber. This excess fuel can seep past the piston rings and mix with the engine oil, diluting it and reducing its ability to properly lubricate the engine. And don't forget, idling generates very little heat, so your engine takes much longer to reach its ideal operating temperature, meaning the damage is prolonged. The right way to warm up your engine is to start the car, wait about 30 to 60 seconds for the oil to circulate, and then drive gently. Light driving warms up the engine more efficiently and avoids the fuel dilution problem that excessive idling causes. Now, let's talk about engine oil, because this is where many people go wrong without even realizing it. Using the wrong oil viscosity for your climate can have disastrous effects on a cold start. When temperatures drop, oil becomes thicker, making it harder for the oil pump to push it through the tiny passages in the engine. This means that during the first few seconds after startup, your engine is running with minimal lubrication. That's right, there's metal-on-metal contact happening inside your engine because the oil hasn't fully circulated yet. Over time, this leads to increased wear on critical components like camshafts, bearings, and lifters. That's why it's absolutely crucial to use the manufacturer recommended oil viscosity, especially in winter. If you live in an area with harsh winters, switching to a lower viscosity oil, such as a 0W20 instead of a 10W30, can make a big difference in how quickly your engine gets the lubrication it needs. Also, always check your oil levels regularly, because low oil levels can make cold starts even more dangerous for your engine. Dirty oil can also be a major problem. If your oil hasn't been changed in a while, contaminants and sludge build up, making it even harder for the oil to flow properly when cold. Another cold start mistake that often gets overlooked is shutting down your engine before it has fully warmed up. Picture this: you start your car, drive a couple of minutes to the store, and shut it off. This seems harmless, right? Wrong. Short trips where the engine doesn't have enough time to reach full operating temperature can cause moisture and unburned fuel to accumulate in the oil. Normally, when the engine reaches its optimal temperature, this moisture and fuel burn off, keeping your oil clean and your engine healthy. But when you constantly take short trips and shut the engine off before it fully warms up, these contaminants build up over time, leading to oil degradation, sludge formation, and internal corrosion. This is especially problematic in winter when engines take longer to warm up. If you frequently make short trips, consider combining errands into one longer drive to ensure your engine has enough time to reach its proper temperature. Also, keep an eye on your exhaust. If you see excessive white vapor during cold starts, it could be a sign that moisture buildup is becoming a problem. One of the most damaging yet underestimated cold start mistakes is neglecting your battery. Many drivers don't realize how much strain a weak battery puts on an engine during startup, especially in cold weather. When temperatures drop, the chemical reactions inside your battery slow down, reducing its ability to provide the necessary power to start your engine. A weak battery means your starter motor has to work harder, and in turn, your engine struggles to crank over. This prolonged cranking time is not only stressful for your starter motor, but also for your engine as it's trying to fire up with minimal electrical power. In cold weather, a weak battery can also cause your fuel injectors and spark plugs to operate inefficiently, making cold starts even rougher. To avoid this, regularly check your battery's health, clean the terminals, and replace it if it's more than 3 to 5 years old. Also, using a battery blanket or keeping your car in a garage can help retain battery power in freezing temperatures. If you notice your headlights dimming when you start the car, that's a sign your battery might be struggling. So what's the correct cold start routine? It's simple. Start your engine, wait 30 to 60 seconds for the oil to circulate, and then drive gently, keeping your RPMs low until the temperature gauge reaches its normal range. Avoid revving, excessive idling, short trips, and make sure your battery and oil are in top shape. These small habits make a massive difference in prolonging the life of your engine. I've rebuilt enough engines to recognize a pattern. The ones that fail prematurely almost always suffered from poor cold start practices. Treat your engine right and it will reward you with years of reliable performance. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever made any of these cold start mistakes? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more expert car advice that will keep your engine running smoothly for years to come.